Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I am driving this. This is the Hyundai Creta diesel, and straight away we are going to open the engine bay of this vehicle, and this is the engine CRDI 16V. That's for 16 valve, and of course you've got insulation right there. Engine has got a little dirty because we've been driving the car all over the place, and as you can see the design is a love it or a hate it. It's polarizing, but definitely it has grown on me with time. LED lights, and you see the lights are nice and bright. This is obviously the DRL, but unfortunately the indicator and the fog lamps are not LEDs, these are bulbs inside, so a bit of cost cutting has been done there. Now this is actually functional, so the stick of truth actually gets a thumbs up. And the design language is actually inspired from the Palisade, which is Hyundai's flagship SUV. There are no front parking sensors, which is actually the case with its cousin, sibling, twin, whatever you want to call it. The Seltos actually gets front parking sensors. It also gets a front parking camera. It gets a 360-degree parking camera, which is missing in the Creta, but it has certain features of its own which are unique enough. Design looks nice as such from the side actually. From the front and rear, yes, it takes time to grow on you, and maybe it might not even grow on you. It depends on your kind of taste. The front tire is obviously 215 60 17, and the rear tire is the same size too, because of course this is a front wheel drive car. But you get rear disc brakes, and the design of the alloys is nice, better than the one on the turbo petrol because it gets this diamond cut finish. Somehow the ones on the turbo petrol seem like, the alloys are there, we forgot to put makeup on it. Chrome door handles, silver color finish here, silver color finishing here on the roof rails as well. Massive panoramic roof, shark fin antenna. Overall design language, yes, could have been a little bit more acceptable considering how good the first generation looked, but yes, it grows on you with time. Again, rear is similar to the front. This is again a bulb, so cost cutting has been done there. Piano black finishing, high mounted stop lamp, reverse parking camera, rear parking sensors, skid plate, silver color finishing, all that and more. Anyways, coming to the side of the car, which I've already shown you from that side, so there's nothing different. Only the thing is that it doesn't get a request sensor up front on the left side, it gets on the right side, so cost cutting has been done there. Opening the boot, let me tell you straight away that there is a good amount of space on offer because the boot is bigger now. Just ignore all these things which I've put here, camera equipment and all that stuff. Seat reclines 60-40, so you can increase the boot carrying capacity as well. Spare wheel isn't an alloy, well, I'll just show that to you, which is going to be some amount of effort. Here we go. Yeah, that is not an alloy, it's actually a smaller size wheel too, so I think sort of cost cutting, but more to do with the fact that you just cannot accommodate such a big tire. Coming to the rear, it has more space than before for sure. Seat also reclines, so you can recline the seat accordingly. Here you go. Yeah, you can recline it, you can push it back as well. Nice recline angle too, and you get these cushions too, which says Creta. Meanwhile, door pockets are large enough at the rear, and you get a sun blind as well, manually adjustable of course. There's the motor beam perfume hanging there because for doing the vlog I didn't want it to dangle all over the place while driving. You get a rear center armrest with twin cup holders. The only issue here is the fact that this thing can hurt your back, although the cabin is wider than before. The storage space right there, and USB charging socket too. Rear AC vents, and of course this is for the air purifier in the vehicle. Magazine holders. So overall rear seat experience is good. Cabin is also decently wide now, but unfortunately it's not really comfortable for 3 people at the rear. Headroom is also decent, not that great because of the panoramic roof which eats into the headroom of course. This is a request sensor. Meanwhile, door pockets at the front are large enough. These are the power window controls along with outside rear view mirror controls, and the driver's seat also gets electric adjust. Seats are actually quite comfortable and nice. I like the seats on this car, and there is a dead pedal right there. This is the engine start button, this is the traction control button, this is the headlight leveler. Straight away let's get inside, and let me tell you, there are plenty of features on offer. So for starters, we're just going to turn off the indicators and the light. There the display shows, actually that's a 7-inch display, same size as the Kia Seltos, but you know what, they've done a digital speedometer which actually looks nice. However, the tachometer feels a bit small and ignored too. Now this is a very legible instrument cluster without a doubt. Tire pressure monitor, I can press a button here and I can change things, so here we go. The information being shown is of course the driving information, navigation data as well, which is quite cool. These are actually the controls to navigate that, along with of course cruise control, and this is obviously for the audio system. Automatic headlights, automatic wipers, everything feels nice. Let's use the wipers right away. Lot of spray on offer. Wipers work brilliantly well too. Auto dimming inside rear view mirror. It's got connected car feature as well with 50 connected car tech. and you can remotely turn on the vehicle as well, because it gets electric parking brake, which is missing in the Kia Seltos. It also gets an auto hold function. There's twin cup holders here, there's space below the front center armrest. The glove box is cool, but a lot of stuff lying in the glove box right now. Wireless charging pad. There's a USB charging socket here, another USB charging socket. One connects to the car for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. This, of course, is your 12-volt charging socket, and you've got ventilated seats at the front, which is the coolest thing ever, because I love the way it's actually able to cool your seat. And this is the driver rear view monitor, which works when you are driving the car, which means that the handbrake needs to be down, and there you see, there it turns on, which is a nice thing. It's like Honda's lane watch, but this shows you both sides, because the center at the rear. Pretty cool feature without a doubt. Steering has the Audi feel to it, actually. Flat bottom too, and there is no mirror here, which is actually an appalling thing, because the Verna actually gets a mirror here. The Verna also gets both reach and height adjust. This only gets a height adjust. You can't adjust it for your reach, which is kind of disappointing, because the Verna gets it. Now, plastics are really hard on the car, like dashboard and everywhere, so cost cutting has been done. Difference between this and the turbo petrol is the fact that this gets a dual tone interior. The turbo petrol gets a black interior with red inserts. This gets this chromish inserts, which look really nice. And the position of this is also very different, because it's got driving modes along with, of course, terrain modes too. So slight difference between the turbo petrol and the regular Creta. Meanwhile, you've got a climate control, air conditioning as well. Now, this is a 10.25 inch screen, which is the same size as the Kia Seltos. It's a very nice screen, very slick and fluid to use. This is obviously the air purifier. Here I turn it on. It makes a lot of noise, but there is the display. It's kind of cool. Let's turn that off for a moment. This is actually very brisk and nice to use, navigation data and whatnot. So let's just get to home. There is the navigation data. It's really very brisk, very nice. It's got voice commands too. That's a compass, not the Jeep kind. So I love the system. In fact, this is a Bose audio system with 8 speakers, I believe 4 tweeters and 4 speakers. Audio quality is really very nice. Let's play an audio right away. Audio quality is brilliant. Actually, it's very nice the way the audio works on this vehicle. So I have nothing to complain in terms of the infotainment system, because I think this is one of the best around. You also get height adjustable seat belt. You get a motor beam cap too, along with a mask. That's also a nice feature to have. And obviously handle on all the sides except the driver's side. Meanwhile, it's got 6 airbags, and there's a sunglass holder. Oh my god, Ray-Bans. That's so cool. I just want a sunglass, so we're just going to keep it here for a moment. And you obviously get a mirror here, but there is no light there. You see these buttons. This is obviously for the connected car tech. Now, the connected car is quite advanced. In fact, you can use voice commands to do a lot of things. Hello, Blue Link. Open sunroof.
Opening the sunroof.
That is cool. Obviously, the sunroof is massive in terms of size and brings in a lot of airy feeling inside the cabin. One of the major reasons why you would pick a Creta over the Seltos is, of course, this massive panoramic sunroof, which is quite cool. Now, I should ask Blue Link to actually close the sunroof. Okay, hello Blue Link. Close sunroof.
Closing the sunroof.
Oh yeah, there the sunblind also goes. The only thing is, if you want to open just the sunblind, now you have to be really very careful, because there's a technique which you need to use. So, I'll just show you the technique right now. You have to put your finger like this, and then you have to push it behind. Now, I think I have just opened the sunblind and not the roof. Yes, I managed. Oh no, I didn't. That was too early. But you just cannot figure it properly. They should have kept a separate button just to open the sunblind, because it doesn't work that fluidly. Hello Blue Link, I'm sweating. I'm actually literally sweating. Look at me.
Here I am adjusting climate controls for you.
There, that is the smartness. In fact, it is so smart now. It can tell you cricket scores, it can tell you a lot of things. But I have already reviewed this car extensively with the turbo petrol, so you can just click here to see that video. Let's get driving right away. Horn is really nice actually. So while the horn might be nice, I forgot to show you the reverse parking camera. This is how you get into reverse. That is the reverse parking camera I actually showed you with the driver rear view monitor. But I love the fact that the display is super crisp and it has got adaptive guidelines. But more important than that, it's got this display which is so freaking cool, which shows the car's rear and it shows what's happening and all. Although certain features could have been added, which is there in the Seltos, like of course a heads-up display, which unfortunately this car does not get. And I love the fact that it actually shows you display here also when you're reversing the car in case an obstacle is come. So this is kind of advanced and cool as well. And I love the fact that the tire pressure monitor can be set here itself, so while you're driving you can monitor it, not somewhere inside the menu, which is very complex to actually monitor. But who cares? Let's get driving finally. Alright, we're all set to go, which means turning off the traction control, getting it into first gear, using the wipers as well, revving the motor, rev still almost 5,000 RPM proper. and off we go. There's a lot of torque, the whole car shaked as such, but you know what, actually the thing is the road is wet, yet there is so much wheel spin happening. Kya hua? Alright, we're all set to go, which means turning off traction control, cutting into first gear, revving the motor, revs till 5000 rpm. Little bit on wheel spin and off we go. And straight away, let me tell you that this is a downsized diesel engine. Earlier, the Creta used a 1.6 litre diesel engine which produced 128 PS of power and 260 Newton meters of torque. Downsizing means that it is now a 1.5 litre diesel engine which produces 115 PS of power and 250 Newton meters of torque. But has the downsizing affected the engine? Of course it has affected the car, because in the Verna the effect wasn't that massive. Obviously, because the Verna is a lighter car, the Creta is slightly heavier, so it doesn't have the kick in the pants wheel anymore. But there is good news, because that 250 Newton meters of torque comes in at 1500 rpm and peaks at 2750 rpm. So it comes 400 rpm earlier and peaks 400 rpm later. I mean, it's there for 400 rpm more, which means that the overall torque band is much wider than before, resulting in absolute great drivability on this vehicle. I've actually come into 5th gear. That is the level of drivability on offer. You want to make a quick overtake? No problem at all. You can actually drive in higher gears. 6th gear, yes, Faisal Khan doing a vlog. Driving in 6th gear has finally happened because of the tractability of this diesel engine. Drivability is great. Turbo lag is well contained. Yeah, you feel a bit of the turbo lag when compared to the Verna because of the heavier weight of the vehicle. But for the most part, you would never ever complain because the performance is so good. Yes, of course, you know, it actually wakes up at 2000 rpm, but it is having good amount of grunt below 2000 rpm as well, which was not the case with the earlier car, because I think it used to peak around 1900 rpm. The result was that the earlier car, the 1.6 litre diesel engine, had a lot of turbo lag to contend with, and because of that turbo lag, that highlighted the mid-range of the vehicle, and the mid-range was really great too. It gave you a proper kick in the pants feel, a push, a shove. This car does not do that. It's so much more linear as such, and you know, because of BS6 emission norms, almost everything on earth has become so linear, robbing away the fun factor. But that said, I don't have much to complain about because overall performance is really very nice. In fact, you downshift here into 3rd and see the car gets vocal. Yes, it gets quite vocal past around 3500 rpm. Otherwise, it's a very refined engine. It is so refined, you can barely hear anything inside the cabin. You don't need to slow down for such bumps at all, because overall ride quality is also very great on the new Hyundai Creta. Gonna stop here. Braking performance is good. ABS pulsating issue has been resolved to a great extent. ABS is not very oversensitive like before. Here we go. Oh yeah, torque steer. That is the amount of wheel spin on offer. So low end is good, mid-range is also very good. In fact, it's brilliant, but it's just that in the top end, it kind of, okay, here we go, bump, no problem. In the top end, it kind of suffers a bit, and it suffers to the extent that you really have to be hell-bent on redlining the car at 5000 rpm, where it actually redlines. Otherwise, it's just making no progress as such in the top end. It gets very vocal too. Otherwise, it's a very refined motor, more refined than before, more drivable than before, and more tractable too, which is like a big win-win situation from the new Hyundai Creta diesel. And that's not all. Fuel efficiency is also better than before. In fact, this is more efficient than its sibling, the Kia Seltos. Marginally, I believe around 0.3 kilometers per litre. This should return somewhere around 14 to 15 kilometers per litre, which is very respectable for a car of this size and weight. And obviously, if you drive it more cautiously, you can return more fuel efficiency from this vehicle. The fuel tank capacity is 50 litres. Now, here we are into 5th gear. Brilliant. Tractability is great. A few days back, I actually took this car to Pune to drive the MG Hector Plus, and while coming back, I drove the Volkswagen Tiguan All-Space. Let me tell you straight away that a manual is a manual is a manual, and a diesel is absolute fun. No matter how good the turbo petrol is, diesel is more fun because you get the torque rush, and the torque rush in this car is brilliant. It's so good, it's so good. Downshift here, and the best part is the clutch is light. The gearbox is such a joy to use. It is so good, this gearbox. I love the gearbox on Hyundai cars. Really soft in that sense. Smoothness is the highlight without a doubt. High speed stability is also great. When I was going to Pune a few days back and I was driving the Creta, I was absolutely astounded by the fact that the ride quality is so brilliant. High speed stability is great in spite of the soft suspension. Yeah, the suspension is on the softer side. This car has a better ride quality than the Kia Seltos, yet it has great high speed stability as well. It doesn't wander around at higher speeds. That is absolutely brilliant. How did they achieve this? Well, of course, the chassis is on the stiffer side, which means suspension is soft, chassis is stiff, and the overall balance is absolutely great for our roads, because our roads are just filled with bad roads and potholes. Grip levels are also great. This car obviously understeers when you get near the limit, but you will never get near the limit because the car doesn't give you that vibe of pushing it hard or fast. This car is on the softer side, we all know that. But more than the softness of the vehicle, this car doesn't love to be pushed because there's some amount of body roll on offer. There's actually quite a bit of body roll on offer, and the steering doesn't have much feel or feedback. Yeah, the steering doesn't offer much feel or feedback still. It's on the lighter side. It does weigh up at high speeds. It doesn't feel hairy at all, but it's not a steering wheel which will put a massive smile on your face and be like, yeah, you know what, let's corner hard, that's going to be fun. No. That is not what the steering likes. The steering is so much easier to twirl because of the lightness at lower speeds, which makes it a boon to park this car or drive this car or maneuver this car, any of that sort, at lower speeds. But as you increase the pace, you're like, the steering could have done with more feel and feedback for sure. But Hyundai is very sure that what they want to offer with the Creta is an easy to drive car with great ride and comfort levels, and that's where this car absolutely excels. Okay, I love the fact that even on expansion joints, it doesn't get fluttered at all. And taking a turn, look at one hand turn, look at this, absolutely no problem. Picking it up from second gear, tractability is so freaking good. And there the pull, you actually love driving this car in the city because the pull is so great. And you know, I had to stop here, you know why? Sound in the tunnel. No. Here we are into first gear. Opening the window is not a good idea. I can open Neha's window because there's some water which is going to be splashed, and off we go. The engine overwhelms the car so badly that the car is like, no, I just can't deal with the amount of grunt coming through the wheels. Obviously front wheel drive, what do you expect? So like I was telling you, steering is absolutely easy to twirl, but a little disappointing for high speed driving. But most people won't do that. This is about comfort, and in comfort it absolutely shines. In fact, this car goes all the way till 180 kilometers per hour without fluttering at all. That's how good the pull is, all the way till 180 kilometers per hour. After 180 kilometers per hour, yes, progress dulls to quite an extent, and you really need a really big, large and long road to hit its top speed, which is around 190 kilometers per hour. So compared to the old 1.6 diesel engine, this is actually around 0.7 seconds quicker, goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 11.5 seconds. But for the reduction in outright acceleration timing, it's fine considering the drivability and tractability of this engine is improved dramatically. It feels so much more easier to drive. The engine is a gem. The refinement, the drivability and the torque rush, and the way, you know, you can actually drive in higher gear. 6th gear, Faisal driving in 6th gear, I would never thought such a thing could happen. But doing 6th gear at like 100 kilometers per hour, actually we are at 90 kilometers per hour at 2000 RPM, that's how relaxed the engine is. The engine is like, you know what, lockdown is on, I'm on vacation, do your thing, I don't care. Now here we go into first gear, revving the motor. The torque rush is so good that in spite of the wet roads, it still wants to spin its wheels. That's absolutely crazy. Second gear, it does 80 kilometers per hour. First gear, I believe it does 50 kilometers per hour. And then obviously it gets past 120 kilometers per hour in third. That's the way this car pulls. Yeah, it's exactly 120 kilometers per hour. In third gear, becomes very noisy, but the noise in the top end isn't disturbing at all. It's actually a nice soothing voice. But did I just say soothing voice? Well, no, the sound is actually quite soothing. It doesn't have the diesel clatter, so they've refined the motor brilliantly well, and I love that fact about this vehicle. Now, of course, what is the price of this car? The one I'm driving is priced at rupees 19 lakhs on road Mumbai. Meanwhile, the diesel automatic is priced 1.67 lakhs more, making it the most expensive variant of the Hyundai Creta lineup. And that means that it costs 21.6 lakhs or so for the top end diesel automatic. No, actually 20.67 lakhs. What's happening with mathematics? Anyways, so here we are into fifth gear. I love the way the car is able to pull in higher gears as well. Makes very easy to make quick overtakes on the highway. But like I was telling you, base range of the diesel 12 lakh rupees, top end which I'm driving 19 lakhs. Now if you go automatic, 2 automatic trims are on offer, which are priced more than this car, which is the top end of the diesel manual. So diesel automatics, both the variants cost more than the diesel manual top end, and the base was for 12 lakhs. There are 14 variants on offer, out of which 5 are for the diesel manual, 2 are for the diesel automatic, which means 7 variants are only for the diesel itself. And that 5 variants which I'm talking about means that the diesel manual is available in each and every variant, or rather trim, of the Creta lineup, because obviously the diesel is the top seller for the Creta, which means that more than 55% buyers are actually choosing diesel for the Creta in spite of having a fat turbo petrol engine. Now that day I had gone to the dealership, I asked the dealer what is selling and what is flying for the word, and the Creta is like diesel obviously sells well, and turbo petrol is a niche. Obviously no one really wants a performance sedan from Hyundai or a performance SUV from Hyundai, considering the fact that, you know, these cars are more comfort oriented and the performance is mainly towards the engine, not really in terms of the chassis or the dynamics. And we all know that, you know, performance variants of cars don't sell well. because most people really care about aesthetic value, not about mechanical aspects of a vehicle. Here we are into 6th gear. How many times have I said here we are into 6th gear? I think almost 15 times I've already said this. The Hyundai Creta diesel is a fab vehicle, and yeah, the pricing is on the higher side, but you get a very well-rounded package which is extremely comfortable, quite refined, and has the punch as well. And always I love, forget 3rd gear, Faisal, come into 2nd. 2nd is where the fun lies. I love the fact that, you know, the ride quality is so good, and the way the motor pulls in the top end, really soothing. Not really a fast revving motor in that sense. It's of course quite refined, and more than refinement, it's fun to drive too. You know why it's fun to drive? Especially in the city, you enjoy this car a lot because the steering is obviously light, the engine is potent, and you just shift, have fun, get into lower gears, close gaps quickly, which is not possible with a petrol engine because you have to really rev the nuts out of it. Even turbo petrols, you can't just extract the best out of turbo petrol engine. So the Creta diesel is a fab car and a great all-rounder. Not really a car which will put a smile on your face when you're driving out on the highway and around the corners too, because this is not a corner craver in any way whatsoever. But in terms of comfort, in terms of refinement, in terms of, you know, making it convenient, it's great, especially if you're getting chauffeur driven in this car, because ride quality is so good, plus the fact that it's fuel efficient too. So it just falls into place perfectly for a person who doesn't really enjoy driving but wants an overall package which is efficient, refined, and quick too. This is a quick car without a doubt. Yeah, slower than before, but still quick enough, and the tractability really impressive. So Neha, tell me something. How did you like this car?
Really nice.
You have driven it? You have not driven it. Don't lie. That day weren't you driving it?
I was not driving this one.
You have driven this diesel.
No.
How is it?
It's good. It's nice.
Do you think it's fast?
Nah.
Do you think it's smooth?
Yes.
Would you buy this over the Duster?
No.
Such a lie. And on that lying thing, it's time to end. Bye-bye.
Looks pathetic. मैंने पेट्रोल वाली चलाई थी जो इतना पीती है.
डीजल चलाई थी, भूल गई.
डीजल नहीं चलाई थी, पेट्रोल चलाई थी.
डीजल चलाई थी यार. We drove the diesel. Remember जिसमें मैंने फोटो रेड फोटो डाला भी तो गाड़ी के साथ.
1 मिनट. उनके पास रेड भी है, ब्लू भी है, सब गाड़ियाँ हैं.
अरे डीजल इज रेड ओनली.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं. डीजल इज रेड ओनली. दैट वाज टर्बो वाला यार.
अरे टर्बो नहीं, डीजल रेड चलाई तुमने. याद है जब तुम्हारे फोटो लिया था हम लोग उधर घूरे थे, जब मैं तुम्हें 2-3
नहीं चलाए थे मैंने. हमने सिर्फ फोटो शूट किया एंड आई वाज नॉट ड्राइविंग इट, सो जस्ट डोंट मेक एनी स्टोरी. बोलो ना मतलब क्या होता है. द कार लुक्स वेरी गुड, द वे यू आर ड्राइविंग. आई एम एंजॉयिंग इट. बस आई एम हैप्पी. अब अच्छी गाड़ी, एसी ऑन कर दो. गर्मी में क्यों मार रहे हो?
कब जाना है मैकडॉनल्ड्स?
आई एम नॉट ईटिंग आउटसाइड फूड.
उस दिन तो मैकडॉनल्ड खाया था तूने. कैसी लगी गाड़ी वैसे?
स्मूथ है, मस्त है. इट्स गुड. आई हैव फन ड्राइविंग.
This was earlier today. She was driving the car, and now she's telling in the vlog कि मैंने तो चलाई ही नहीं.
तुमने अभी टाइम डिफरेंस है. वो टाइम अलग था, ये टाइम अलग है. झूठे हो तुम.